Good evening, everyone. It's so nice to see a number of people here just to see how the school board meetings run, and we thank you very much for coming. And then we have I think we have some new teachers here with us, and so anyway, thank you very much for being here. I'd like to have everyone stand and we'll say the pledge of allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now I will ask for an approval of the agenda. Andrew? Barb? Any discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, the agenda is approved. Turn it over to Dr. Vanderjagt for board recognition.
This is always a highlight, and when we see the success of our student athletes perform, I'll say on a court this time, to recognize the, once again, boys volleyball state champions in dramatic fashion, going, I won't steal all this thunder, but clearly 5 sets for those that know volleyball and a 16-14 finish is a good finish to a state tournament. And more importantly, being academic all-state, talks about not just the athletes and the height that we have in here. Thanks for hooking the camera up. Great. But also knowing how they perform in the classroom, which is great. I'm going to turn over to Coach Aaron Wedge. He's going to talk a little bit about the team, and then we'd like to recognize the gentlemen and their accomplishments.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it was quite an epic battle on Saturday against 2 very, very good teams. Anybody that was there would say the same thing. It was just kind of a dogfight all the way through it. It was awesome. So this year culminates the club delineation of boys volleyball in Michigan. Next year will be the first year of MHSAA status. So that's awesome. It's been 8 years of a club, so that's kind of fast for a club to become an MHSAA sport. When Hudsonville started, excuse me, there were 19 teams in the state. This year there were 99. So from 2021 to 2025, it's just exponential growth. The all academic thing was something that I said it last night at our banquet, of all the awards and trophies and everything that we've ever won, we've never received that award. So that was awesome. That we were able to do that. The criteria for MIVCA is 3.3, and our GPA was somewhere around a 3.6 something. So it was awesome that the boys not only performed on the court, good character, upstanding citizens, but also good students. So that's been awesome. So for some of you that don't know, this doesn't happen all the time, but this is the 5th year in a row that we've won the state title. In those 5 years, we're 163, 15-1 is our record. So it's like a 92% win rate. So these boys put in a ton of work. Some of them have been with the team for 4 years. All the dedication, the off-season stuff, all of that goes into kind of what you see in front of you. So it's been a great ride, and thank you to the administration and everybody else that's been a part of it. So that's been great. So now, when I call you guys up, come on up, there's a certificate for you. We'll just start right at the top. Alex Armstrong.
talk about their accolades and stuff coming up?
What's that?
You can talk about their accolades.
Oh, Alex was first team all conference this year. Next up, Noah Jenkins. Next on the list is Landon Dykema, but he's not here this evening. So after Landon is Cam Rogers. Aiden Bigelow. Aiden Bigelow was first team all conference and first team all state. Christian Blaukamp. Ryder Roberts. Ryder Roberts was first team all conference, all state, all academic, and first team all state. Van Joldersma couldn't be here tonight. Next up is Seth Jenkins. Seth is first team all conference and first team all state, or third team all state. Keon Yarno. Noah Straub. Jonah Straub. Aiden Bale couldn't be here this evening, and then finally Miles Brendel. I'd also like to point out Alicia Vaz, if you could kind of wave a little bit, and Steve Yarno, wherever he is. Both of those two, Alicia was my assistant coach. Steve helped out when he could be there and make it and during games and stuff. There are other coaches too that couldn't make it tonight, but without them, also none of this is possible. So to all of you, again, congratulations, great season.
I will say normally we're like lined up in 2 rows, but you're also tall. Maybe just squeeze together. And coach, nice job too, because it's a big commitment. It's a big commitment for you too, for time. And I know you got a couple little helpers and an amazing supportive wife that works in our high school. So anyway, thanks for all you do for us. Appreciate it.
You don't have to say the whole meeting. Yeah.
Okay, now I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Andrew Jackson, teaching and learning teacher.
I'm going to turn it right over to Mrs. Thomas. We're here. So, Mrs. Thomas.
Thank you. So with me tonight are Meg Voss and Alicia Kramer, two of our mental health therapists, and we are just going to briefly highlight 2 of the programs under the Student Services umbrella. So in just a minute, you'll see our slideshow. And we are going to highlight, oh gosh, well, school nursing. I hope you don't see anything embarrassing. There it is. Nursing services and mental health therapy. So both Kristen Goodike and Kaylee Voltberg helped prepare these materials, but unfortunately we're able to join. Kaylee's home with a newborn baby, and Kristen is out on a college visit with her baby. So they've prepared this slide deck and me well to present it to you. So this is a little different than what you typically would consider as a school nurse, in that their purview is making sure that we have systems as a district to provide layers of support to students who require it. So this looks like preparing each of our buildings' MERT teams, our medical emergency response teams, to ensure that they have annual training and are ready to respond in the event of a crisis. They also provide CPR and first aid training to designated staff groups. I think I reported earlier to to you this year that we've been really aiming to increase those number of staff that are CPR and first aid trained, so that regardless of which subgroup of students they support, we have somebody that's available in the event that that's needed. They also coordinate specialized nursing, so that would be if a student's healthcare plan was included activities that went throughout the day, they oversee to make sure that those nurses have the healthcare plan in place and that they're able to secure a sub when needed. They also provide development and training of individual student plans and training to our office staff on medication administration. So it might surprise you to know that 3,000 of our students have health conditions. And so anytime a student has a condition as reported by their parent, they have a little icon in their information system which alerts staff that support that student that there's something important to know. Of those 3,400 students require individualized medical support either in the way of a medication management plan or a healthcare plan, or sometimes both. So over the course of the year, through the grant that has supported their positions, they've maintained records of all the different encounters they've had throughout this year, which has been more than 3,000. So that's every individual contact that they have with parents, doctors, nurses, and sometimes students themselves. And so they're busy throughout the year and they float across the district every day. And at this point in time, we have 600 staff members who have received training from them. This year, they took part in supporting our oral health clinic with the Ottawa County Health Department. They also support Blue Envelope training, our suicide prevention training program through Corewell. They've provided vape education podcasts for families, as well as produced a video module for students who have had repeat offenses with vaping at school. And so these students are able to view these materials while in school suspension, just to provide a little educational component to help them understand some of the consequences of vaping. So they've been fantastic. They wish they could be with you tonight, but we're excited about what they've done and will continue to do next year. So I'm going to turn it over to Alicia and Meg.
Hi, thank you for having us. Heidi couldn't be here today. To start, the first little paragraph there is kind of our goal for each of our students. So, providing a safe and supportive environment at school where eligible students explored feelings and thoughts, gained insight into the connection of thoughts and feelings and behaviors, and developed healthier coping skills. This was done through individual mental health therapy sessions. This was often weekly, bi-weekly, sometimes twice a week. Group therapy sessions, Kindness Club, which was an after-school program for kids to develop friendships. Parent connections, education and support, and then family referrals to community supports. So this was often outside counseling and therapists as well.
So then to speak more on the purpose was to address immediate mental health needs and reduce barriers to mental health services, educate students and families on emotional regulation, connection, well-being, and safety. And then our referral process was that we worked with our administrators and our child study teams to identify students who have experienced a Blue Envelope event, which is the like our suicide risk assessment event, and then or had a major life event happen, and then the student's family has barriers to transportation or just accessing mental health services.
So this year we were able to have 1,657 individual therapy sessions. These often focused on coping skills, processing things, social skills, a multitude of things. We served 131 students. This could have been connecting with parents or referring for outside supports. And then 1,275 case management endeavors. This included contacting families, connecting them to community resources and things like that.
And then another big part of what we did this year was family outreach. Since we are a new program, we were hoping to build rapport with all of our families and students. So we did that through parent newsletters, individual parent meetings. We held a family connection night, which is all of the paint on the table. And Mental Health Awareness Month, we set up kind of a website for resources for mental health services, and partnerships with referrals to the community is kind of what we did.
Yeah, so I just want to commend these ladies, and Heidi too. So as you might remember, previously we coordinated with Ottawa County for, in a different way for those mental health specific allocations to be provided across the county. And this was the first year that those dollars were directly given to the district to implement their own program. And so when they talk about a new program, it really was, and they showed a great deal of just resiliency, problem solving, and perseverance. And they, I think they did a fantastic job of just getting to know what their buildings needed from them, and then using all of the time they had to reach the streets that were identified. So it was a good learning experience, and we were already kind of planning out what we might do the same or different next year. So thank you for the opportunity to provide you an update. Do you have any questions?
So before maybe more quick questions here, I will, we talked about this for years. When years ago we didn't have the nursing support in our buildings. We didn't have the support for some of the families that may be challenged to get kids to get support that they needed, and now we have that in the building. It gives that just that full wraparound service for the kids. Academics is so important, but there's a lot going on with some of our families, some of our kids, from a medical standpoint with our nursing program, which you know well, and then from a lot of mental health. So thanks for all of that.
Mandy, you've done a great job of educating us on the tiers of support. Would we consider this tier 1? Is that how it, or is this a parallel? How can you talk to that a little bit?
Yeah, so in the newer iterations of response to intervention or multi-tiered systems of support, they refer to this as an integrated system. And so that just means that we're walking alongside other entities to meet the needs of the whole child. So some of their activities really are tier 1. They're providing education to parents, they're helping connect families to the resources that they might need to meet their basic needs. And then as they identify students that really do require that individualized therapy, that would probably be more of a tier 3. It's really specific to that child's individual journey, and we ensure that the family not only provides consent, but they also give input into what the care plan looks like. So we have pretty clear goals on what the purpose of therapy is and what the intended outcome.
Thank you. I reversed that. I meant tier 3. Thank you for
got
that.
it. Yes.
So
No
that's
problem.
okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
How much of your time is spent outside of the school day? I see things like meeting with parents and stuff. How much of your time is spread out over the rest of the day?
The majority of our time is definitely within school, meeting with kids individually or teachers or whoever to kind of help them. And then this year we did one family connection night because we weren't really sure what to expect with that, since Meg and I are both new to being in a school system, so we just weren't sure about logistics and how many people would attend. But our families loved it, and then we also joined parent-teacher conferences. Yeah, and then sometimes going to school early or later to meet with school staff and stuff too.
Do you have other peer groups in other schools that are doing the same thing you are, that you meet with and talk with? Or?
Yeah, the ISD actually does have some random meetings for us. I don't know what to, we meet periodically, I don't really know what to call them. So that has been really nice. And then Heidi actually knows the team in Jenison, so they've been super helpful for us. And it has been nice to have other people who are also doing it too, and bounce ideas off and how to also do it every year.
Well, I think these folks in the front row are happy to know that we have this level of support for the kids and what we're doing here, so thank you very much. At this point, Robin, do we have any visitors?
We do not.
Okay, so we will go to the next step. We have action items, a consent agenda. And, we have the proposal for the consent agenda items. Do we have a motion to approve?
I'll do that.
Nick, do we have a second? Ken, do we have any discussion? You all in favor?
Real quick.
No, that's fine.
No, the MHSA proposal in there is the yearly thing that we do to say, we have 2 middle schools, we have a high school, here's our enrollment, we want to be part of MHSA. That's it. Yeah, there's nothing.
Anyone else? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, passes. Okay, next we'll go to the regular action agenda, and we have the grades 5 through 8 PBIS lessons.
Is that what I mean?
We reviewed the most recent, lessons with you in a work session.
And hopefully you've had a chance to review just the table that outlines some of the revisions that were made between the original draft and what is shared with you today as a recommendation. So at this time, our recommendation to the board would be to adopt lessons for grades 5 through 8.
So we have grades 5 through 8 PBIS lessons as presented by Mandy Thomas. Do we have a motion to approve? Ken? We have Andrew, second. Any discussion? Okay, having none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion passes. Next, we have the through board policy recommendation resolution. I'm gonna turn that over to Dr. Vanderjagt.
Yes, I'm gonna go through every policy. It's only like 260 of them. There's been a couple updates to the policies. I did send those to the board. I had a couple of questions for board. I got those are clarified, so there's been no new changes. At this point, I will say this, that Troon did send us the next update yesterday. So there's many more to be updated, but that won't take place until August or September. So it's gonna happen. That's how these things work. It's for everybody. It's not just us.
Will we be okay between now and then?
We are 100% okay between now and then. And I will tell you, if there are policies that we need to take action on sooner than later, they will say, you wanna get this through your report sooner than later. So, I do wanna thank, the work that Dawn Sneed, I know she's not here, as leading the policy committee, along with Nick and Joy. Thank you for the time, a lot of time going through each and every policy. The rest of the board for reviewing that, a lot of good questions. This process, was much more streamlined than when the district, I wasn't here, but I know I've gone through it, moved over to Neola. But most importantly, the work that Robin did to put this stuff together, so thanks Robin for all your work on this. It is a lot. And there will be policies that we might catch and say, you know what, we gotta tweak this a little bit here and there, but we'll bring those to the board, keep those done. So our recommendation is for the board to approve the policies as presented to take effect July 1, 2025. Our other policies, will be in effect until then. And then I will also say that the next step is that in the next work session, we'll discuss the handbooks that come and fall in line with those. That one of the building principals, assistant principals, who clearly are not here because the principals are, but they've gone through those. We're streamlining our handbooks, and we'll ask the board to approve those in July. So that'll be the next step to get this going. So that's our recommendation then.
Just want to second what Dr. Vanderjagt said about the board members and your ability to be able to fit into your schedules all these different things that we've been doing, and it's very much appreciated, your flexibility. Let's see, we have the Throon board, or Throon policy recommendation and resolutions as presented by Dr. Vanderjagt and the policy committee. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Joy, do we have a second?
Support.
Andrew, any discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Next, we have the pool insurance resolution, and I'm gonna turn that over to Pat Briggs to inform us about that.
Thank you. Again, like the other action items, this was reviewed in the work session. It is a participating resolution that we're being asked to pass. We increased our participation, our membership, up to about 100 insured employees this past year. So our recommendation is that the board would support this and it's a participating resolution. Pretty standard stuff. Thank you.
We have the pool insurance resolution as as presented by Patrick Briggs. Do we have a motion to approve? Andrew?
Support.
Ken, second. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Next, we have the human resource items, and I'm gonna turn it over to Ann Armstrong. I just wanna say that Ann does a very good job of giving us the background on the folks that we're hiring, but also I really appreciate the ability to see their resumes, which are also very impressive. So thank you very much for giving that to us, Dr. Vanderjack, and Ann, I will let you go forward.
Okay, well, as you know, this is my favorite time of the year, is my June, July, and August board meetings, because I get to highlight these amazing people. And I want to thank the principals and special education staff, and obviously my HR group, just for all the many resumes that we've read. And so I'm gonna give you a great group of educators here to approve tonight. I'm gonna start, I'm not gonna go right in order, because I'm gonna start with Anna Shoemaker, because Anna is actually a little bit different. She is a shared time teacher, and she comes to us, she's not here tonight because she's actually also been approved through Hudsonville Christian. And Devin Brinks, who's the superintendent over there, highly recommended her, and I've had a conversation with Anna. She is gonna be a very good kindergarten teacher for Hudsonville Christian and within the shared time program that we have with there. But through our agreement, they technically are, majority of their FTE is a Hudsonville public school employee. So that is why they are, Anna is on the agenda tonight, okay? Now I'll start with all the people in review. So Sarah Paul. Sarah is we're bringing her to you tonight as an EI categorical teacher at the high school. Sarah has been a special education teacher since 2008. Currently, she is in Godwin Heights. She has experience from early childhood to categorical, from ASD and emotional impairments. She is a fiercely competitive pickleball player that we have learned, and maybe just fiercely competitive at all. As you know, in all, she loves cats, and she is going to bring joy to all students at Hudsonville High School. Sarah. Next, we have Stephen St. John. Stephen, you might recognize, he is a Hudsonville Public School, not just Hudsonville High School graduate, but Hudsonville Public School graduate. This young man has been on my radar for, I think, 3 years. Everyone keeps telling me, he's gonna graduate soon, he's gonna graduate soon. I'm like, okay, that sounds good. So, and I had the pleasure of talking to him on the phone many times, even last year, and then just watching him kind of grow into a young professional as well. He did his student teaching at West Ottawa, and I actually thought my son was going to get him, and we missed him by 1 semester, so we were so bummed. But he has been building sub and a long-term sub in the science for us since January. You might recognize him from summer science. We're really excited for him to take on some of those mini science courses next year at Hudsonville High School. Next, I have Brenna Bastion. And Brenna, actually, you should recognize her because you've approved her hire before. She was a 3rd grade teacher here at Georgetown Elementary, and we believe in family first as a district, and she had to put her family first. And when she left, I said to her, and I hope you remember this, I said, please come back whenever you can. And she did, which we're so excited. So, but one of the things that made her a great elementary teacher was that she had this special education background. And so this time around, she's going to be a high school resource teacher, which is very exciting. And when she was doing her demo with high school students, they were like, I feel like she's been here forever. And that's how we feel as well. So we're very excited to welcome her back. After that, we have Amy Usher. Amy is a familiar face as well. She has been a para in resource at Riley Street Middle School. And honestly, Riley teachers will say that they felt like they had another teacher within their group. She did teach in Godwin Heights as well as in North Carolina. and she has kids in the district. She's just a great fit. It's very easy onboarding, so we're very excited to have Amy as a resource teacher at the high school. After that, we have Noah Bachman. And I know that the resume that you saw is that he is a tennis coach, which, okay, but he also actually teaches Spanish as well. So Noah, we're recommending as a world language teacher at Baldwin Street Middle School. He stood out very much in his his Spanish as well. I guess that's tennis, but I didn't even know that. He did his student teaching for a year at West Ottawa High School, and both Ryan and I reached out to some of our West Ottawa connections. Ryan, including his cousin, who is was a senior who had Noah. And let me tell you, she didn't hold back, and she said that she loved him, so it was great. Next, we have Grace Hudson. Grace has been doing a lot of teacher preparation and para work in Holland Public Schools. She went to Calvin University. Immediately in her demo, we saw that she just gained great rapport with the students. Mandy and I didn't even talk to each other, and then today we're like, she's just like cool, right? Like she's just like that's kind of the vibe we get, and she's so excited. And honestly, I always get one every year that literally I can feel their excitement through the phone when you're talking to them, and that was Grace, and I loved it. So I think she's going to do a fabulous job as a resource teacher at the 5-6 building in Georgetown. Unfortunately, we have a couple that aren't here tonight. Madeline here's. I just want to make sure I got it right. Madeline Hears was unable to come tonight. We were recommending her for hire as a social worker for the district. She also did a lot of work with Holland Public. She was a really reflective person that she can talk about her growth, throughout her programming with Grand Valley and in her internship. And we just love lifelong learners, and we're very excited to get her as a social worker. Ethan Bales is on a really cool vacation right now, but Ethan, Dr. Vanderjack and I met him at this Grand Valley alumni event for teachers, and he stood out immediately, and I actually needed a long-term sub in art, and he emailed me the next day, which a lot of 21-year-olds don't do that. So it was very good. He did a phenomenal job at Baldwin Street Middle School, and then all of a sudden we had an art opening because of Jen Scott retiring. So it just worked out really well. The kids already know him. It's going to be fantastic. So that's Ethan Bales for art.
His awesome vacation is he's on the East Coast trip.
Yeah.
He's being broken in.
Yeah. Hey, he chose to do it. Okay. Matthew Ross is we're recommending for hire for the choir position. He will be at Riley Street Middle School primarily, and next year he'll also be at the 5-6 building in choir. He did his student teaching in Cedar Springs through Grand Valley's program. I will tell you, when he did his demo, Matt and I and the fellow music teachers, we were blown away with just how he captivated the kids and how he made them better within 15 minutes. I could hear it. That says a lot, people, that I could hear the difference. So we're very excited to get Matthew. His wife is a nurse at Cora, and she's on a 12-hour job right now, and they have 2 littles, so he's not here tonight. And then Emily Teal is, we're recommending as a counselor at the 5-6 building. And Emily has been a teacher since 2012, Spanish, K-8, and then during COVID, I thought this was so neat. During COVID, she just realized how much, more needs kids have, and she wanted to make a difference, so she went back to get her master's in counseling, school counseling, because she just wanted to help kids in a different way. And so she, this past year, did her internship at Byron Center, a K-4 building, and then did a long-term sub. Byron Center was like Jeff and I were arguing because they really wanted to hire her, and we were faster, so we got her, and I'm very excited. And so Emily is going to do a fantastic job, and she is on a cool vacation. You're right, I forgot about Ethan being on. Yeah. So, okay, these are the amazing people that I am recommending to hire for next year. Thank you.
Okay. So we have the certified staff hires as presented by Ann Armstrong. Do we have a motion to approve? Andrew, second? All right. And I will say, Noah, that your resume on coaching was impressive. But the next day, Dr. Vanderjack sent the one that we really wanted to see. No Spanish.
This guy must be a really good tennis player.
To be a
So
teacher.
good at tennis, we're making all this stuff. Whoa, look at this guy.
He does it in Spanish. That's
Big Rafa guy.
So anyway, is there any other discussion other than Noah?
I will thank you for sending along the resumes. It was great to kind of get to know you a little bit. We haven't had that before, and it was cool to see several of the applicants had like recommendations from staff or have been employed here. So it was really cool to see that as well. So really excited to have you all.
Yeah, ditto, like Jess Sterling says you're amazing. You're obviously amazing, so. Yeah, it was. She was my kid's kindergarten teacher. Yeah.
Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. You're all hired. And now we're gonna go to another, part of the spectrum, and I'm gonna turn that over to, Dr. Vanderjack.
So as quickly as the board made a motion in a second and voted for our wonderful new hires, it might take a little bit more time to celebrate the success of John Gillette as he retires. John's been a staple in the district, right? Since I've been here, between John and Mark, you're the only two building leaders that have been in your positions. And it's been a lot to not only the Forest Grove community, because that is a community, every elementary is a community, but to the district. So thank you. It's a huge time commitment, so thanks to the family, who have lived the ups and downs also, and the good times and the better times, because there's a lot of good things that happen in elementary buildings, that you're leading, so thank you. From your Lansing Christian days, which you started, right?
Correct.
And then you shifted over quickly to Holt for about a minute and a half.
Yeah.
And then said, you know, this is really cool, but I'd like to do it in Hudsonville. Then you came over here, did some time at Riley. I say did time. Sorry, Matt. Hey, Matt.
It's all right. We all do time there.
You served the students at Riley in counseling capacity before doing an intern principal role there. And then quickly moved over from Forest Grove for 17 years and called it home. So thank you. You probably miss your 7th grade girls basketball team that you got to coach back in the day, but it's a little bit different. Started at Cornerstone, graduate from Michigan State.
Correct.
And just had a phenomenal career. The building, you will be missed by the staff, the kids, and really the community. I know we have a couple board members that have had the privilege of having their kids go through the building, so they know how important that building is, and your leadership has been just phenomenal. So, John, on behalf of the board, our entire administrative team, I know we talked a little bit about you at our team meeting. I know you do not like to be talked about, but we're going to give you a few minutes to say a few words. But we have a small token of appreciation. It has, I would say it has your name on it, but it has your last name on it, so it can be so go from there. But John, thanks again for your service. Appreciate it.
Thank you. I got a couple things to say. So. Yeah, sure. I appreciate the warm, heartfelt introduction and the tears. So I did write a few things down just in case I get emotional. I'm just so humbled and full of gratitude and thankfulness for the last 24 years. So
service to Hudsonville Public Schools in Riley Street, Forest Grove. I will never forget my first grad class at Michigan State University. I sat down by a cheerful, quite chatty counselor from Riley Street Middle School in first grade. Remember her. We became fast friends, and she's like, "You really need to check out Hudsonville. It's a cool place." And that was the kind of the start of God working sovereignly to bring me and my family over here. And I worked with Robin at Riley back in the day. She was 12 years old. So privileged to enjoy, have your kids come to Forest Grove, or have your kids come to Forest Grove, and I could go around and say great things about everybody here, but so thankful for the leadership of our school district, for my central office friends who've all come after I've been here. I think I hired a couple of them, and my administrator peers. I've just been so blessed, so supported, so loved, and so heard in so many different ways. So I thank God, thank my family for the opportunity that I've had and still have for another few months to serve here. So one of the things I wanted to share, Forest Grove just has a myriad of traditions that were passed on to me, and I've had the privilege to pass them on. And there's a rumor on the agenda that my replacement's going to be named right after this, so I'm going to kind of speak to him as well too, because there are big shoes to fill. It's just because they're size 12, for sure. But we have a tradition at Forest Grove. One of my favorite ones is that all fifth graders that graduate, we paint their hands. We've done this for 25 years, and we have them leave their mark on our school. And we do that very specifically for three main reasons. We write their name up there, we write the year. All my kids have had the opportunity to do that. My hand's been put up there for 17 years. And it's a visible sign that each student is valuable, unique, and belongs here at Forest Grove. They're why we as a staff team show up to work every day. The second thing is that it's also a sign or a mark that they are leaving that represents their impact on one another and each of our staff for years into the future, and we will always know that they were here. And finally, it also serves as a sign that they are not staying here, that they are ready to be launched into the next chapter of their educational lives. And there's nothing more fitting than the baton to be passed. And I hope you all approve him tonight, because Joe, this is all coming to you. And I appreciate that you wore a tie, so I didn't have to tonight, because I'm a little bit more relaxed than you are, for sure. But this baton to be passed, I have been so blessed to have left my handprint in a little way on Forest Grove for the last 17 years. And I am glad to pass that along, and I hope Joe does that for 17 plus more years for sure, because you are valuable, you are unique, and you very soon will belong to Forest Grove. The second thing is I've been blessed to leave an impact and to have been impacted by my staff, by thousands of students and their families throughout the years. Academics, curriculum, learning targets, assessment data are all vitally important, but years from now when we ask students what their experience was like at Forest Grove, we want them to say that they were known here, and that they were loved, that they were cared for, and that they were challenged here. So that's my charge to you, my friend. And finally, that these handprints are a sign that I am not staying here. I am ready to move on, but I'm glad that all of you are here, and even especially our newest teachers, right? I'm old enough to be their dad, so it's time. It's time for me to go. So hopefully very soon to the new principal that will be hired, right? Have fun, get a little messy, and create something memorable and lasting. Thank you.
I thought for sure you were gonna take that from that hand.
I didn't want to.
You can, that's all I can, that's a good idea. So, I will, that is, our recommendation tonight to the board is to approve John's retirement. Truly, it's effective the end of August. so he'll probably be driving a bus for us the first couple weeks. He said, I'll do anything, and I said, even, he said, except drive a bus. So, that's okay. So to approve his retirement, reluctantly, that's a recommendation.
I think, John, you're being a little presumptuous for moving from that seat to the we haven't approved anything yet. But I'm gonna let you stay there and see what happens. Okay, we have John Gillette's retirement request as presented by Dr. Vanderjagt. Do we have a motion to approve?
Regretfully, I move that.
Okay, do we have a second? Kim?
I'll support it.
Nick? Okay, any discussion?
I just wanna say, John, as you know, both of the boys went to Forest Grove and you can't be replaced. The wonderful memories that we have, just your whole interaction with the Forest Grove community is just incredible. And even as a board member, when I came back and you just welcomed me with open arms, I just wanna say thank you for everything that you have done. You will not be forgotten. You will really leave your mark. You and your family, I saw your family in the school all the time. So thank you. My boys remember you and talk very highly of you. You were so visible and just so wonderful. And you made Forest Grove.
Yeah, I guess I can say the same thing. Both my boys went there, and it was actually your leadership and your integrity that had us stay there, even though we should have been at a different school, and drew me into being a para, and we're so thankful for what you've done.
I'm an elder at Jamestown Baptist Church, and many of the families there talk about you, John. They talk about the other gentlemen too, but they talk about you, and they're very thankful for the impression you've left on their children and on them also. And they appreciate that. The whole community does. Okay, without any further discussion, do we have a motion to approve? Second, we had Nick.
Ken and Nick.
Ken and Nick, yeah. Do we have a motion to, so, yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
I thought you were gonna get a split vote tonight, John. Ensure the agenda.
And now we're going to go on to the next person, and that's the administrative plan. I'm gonna turn that over to Dr.
Thanks. I will say this is not very common that we have a recommendation for retirement and then we do this right after. So I apologize. This is really, no offense, is about John. So we appreciate everything you've done, and I don't want to remiss and make these equally as important items. But because we had internal recommendations, or we had internal candidates, I do want to thank Ann Armstrong for doing an amazing job leading the search process. We've known 4 months that John was winding down, so a lot of work has gone into it. And we had some amazing internal candidates in the district. And knowing that, we knew that there would be more dominoes, and it is June, and there's not many board meetings, and so we wanted to make sure those dominoes can fall before the kids show up, and they're coming back soon. So our recommendation tonight is to recommend Joe Szymanski to leave the high school as an assistant principal, move over to Forest Grove. Joe was hired as a Grand Valley grad, was hired, I'll also say as a Johnson grad too, which is so far you're too no. Was hired as a parapro at Bauer Elementary years ago, then went to Allward, was hired to teach at Allward Elementary, then went to Forest, then went to James Von Upper, taught 4th grade, was a team leader, a department or grade level chair. Wanted to really explore his administrative desires, and was hired by me in Rockford. And then I immediately left and went to Hudsonville. Good luck, you're on your own over there. So I gave up all of my Rockford stuff.
Yep,
And
that's true.
since I think got rid of it, hopefully
I
it
don't
doesn't
have
need
it
anymore. So then the following year, after going to East Rockford Middle School over in Rockford, hired him again, but back here in Hudsonville High School. Done a phenomenal job working with the team at the high school, working with the kids. did a lot of neat work. When he was teaching years ago, was coach water polo. So really the interaction from a coaching standpoint with the kids, really, he's got 3 little girls. His wife teaches in the district at Jamestown Lower, Jamestown Lower. So we're looking forward to Joe taking over what they are. We've talked about this. John, you are not replaceable, but when John started too, he was new in the building, so it's gonna take time, but the staff is really eager to work with Joe to support him. And I know John will be around too to pick his brain if we need anything, to say, hey, what about this, what about that? And you're coming back on that day, farm day? Animal day, what's it called? Pet day, that's a pet, right, the first time, that's right. So our recommendation tonight is to hire Joe Szymanski for the 25-26 school year to be the principal at Forest Grove Elementary.
Okay, we have the recommendation by Dr. Vanderjack to appoint Joe Szymanski as the Forest Grove Elementary Principal. Do we have a motion to?
Make that motion.
Ken, do we have a second?
Support.
Nick, any discussion?
It is never good to be the guy that follows the guy.
So we're praying for you.
No, I mean, but confident that obviously the legacy that John has left is hard to match, but confident you will leave your own legacy. It'll be great. I'm excited for you.
So are we to read into anything that Jordan isn't here tonight? Is he pouting? Is he upset?
No, he's on a fabulous trip.
Well, what is that? That's surprising.
Yeah.
Again, vacation.
Now means vacation too.
Now he's on a wonderful vacation.
So acknowledged.
Okay, just so, good, there's no team dissension then. Okay, do we have any other discussion on that? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Then I'm gonna turn it over.
You want me to say anything? I'm just really thankful. When I first left teaching, I had Stephen St. John as a 4th grader when I taught 4th grade, so this is very odd for me right now. When I left teaching and went to East Rockford Middle School, I used John as a reference because we worked together, and now just to come here and I have a list of questions on my phone for John that I have to ask before he does his little sunset tour. So it's big shoes to fill, and I'm really excited just for the opportunity. So thank you.
Congratulations.
I'm gonna turn it over to Dr. Vanderjack.
So yeah, as a report item, I don't have a lot to report. It's summer. I want to thank our team. They'll get some time to hopefully catch their breath. The administrative team, they've just been phenomenal. We talked about this at our team meeting this week. Just an amazing group of leaders. They bring so many different facets to the game, supporting each other, challenging each other, and just taking care of the kids. And I just thank you. I hope you get a chance to really rejuvenate, because I know before long we're back at it and doing the fun stuff and getting after it. So thank the central office staff. Our summers are different because we get to keep doing some of the fun stuff, but those are also long days for you and your families. And so thanks for all the commitment you give to our kids. Thank the board for all the work that you continue to do. I think we've seen a lot of amazing things that have really evolved over the past several months, maybe years, as a district. And a lot of that has to do with the relationships between our teachers, our staff, and our board. And so I appreciate that. Thanks to our building leadership. I saw Kathy here, ownership. So thanks to our, not only Mike Anderson, but Kathy Teal, the work that they do with our teachers, supporting them, working closely with Ann. It's just it's a great group of people to get to work with. Those are the good things. The challenging thing right now, I will tell you, is that you'll get an update tomorrow regarding the House budget. They did pass the state budget through the House. It will go to the Senate. It will not go very far in the Senate. There are some challenges. It's a substantial hit. They're giving us a bunch of money in one hand and taking more away in the other hand, which will be a challenge. I reached out to both of our legislators. I will commend Representative Meerman. He called me right away. We talked for quite a while. We exchanged texts. We agreed to sit down because my last response was, I think one of us is misunderstanding the bill, and he said, there's a good chance it's me. So I think it was a good conversation to start having. I was hoping to get a call from Representative Slaw, but I haven't heard back from him yet, so, which is fairly disappointing. So, but we'll keep fighting for what's best for our kids, for our district. The House bill eliminates, school funding for meals, for example, at the end of September. So that changes, if you think about the families that have food insecurities, that changes a lot for them. It takes a lot of, tries to pay off more than lip service, which hits us on the other end. It changes the insurance. It's a mess. So try to keep you posted as best I can over the summer. There's a good chance the House is in recess now for next week, and then most of them don't work in July. So we will not get our budget from the state before August 1. It'll be mid-August at best. Obviously, at our next meeting, Mr. Briggs is going to go through our budget for next year. And yes, we're flying blind, but every year we fly blind and go from there. Pat and his team do an amazing job making sure with the staffing numbers, what that looks like, the curriculum allocations, the special ed commitments, all of those different facets. It's a lot that'll take place, but we'll get that done. So, as exciting, and I welcome our new staff. It's so fun. I know we get a chance to spend more time with all of you. I know we hope to take a little bit, but get a chance to spend more time with you. Looking forward to it, and definitely want to, in my final, before we just thank John one more time. Appreciate you as a person and as a leader, and thanks to the family who have been there. That's it.
Okay. Before we go to closed session, I just want to give each one of our administrators an opportunity to say something. Mandy, do you have anything you'd like to leave us with today?
Not tonight, thank you though.
Okay, Ann?
Thanks, John. Whenever you call me girl, it makes me feel so good. You're so sweet. I appreciate you very, very much.
Amy?
Welcome to all of you as new teachers. I look forward to spending more time with you in August at new teacher orientation and figuring out all the best ways we can support you in teaching and learning for your growth and our students' growth. So welcome, and thank you, John. Really appreciate having been able to know you and work alongside you and learn from you the last 7 years. So.
Yeah, John was the deciding vote on the hiring committee, so he's the one. He's responsible for the bad and the good. So yeah, thanks a lot, John. You'll be missed.
And I just want to reassure you and those of you in the front row, no matter what happens with the budget, we will carry on.
Yeah.
Everything will be fine, so you're thinking of myself. Now we are going to be going into closed session, and just to see how dedicated you are, we're going to see how many of you are.
I will, I don't know how long closed session will be. Do you want to do roundtable with the board?
Sure.
I don't think any of these people will be here. I know they won't be here.
Okay, then, Joy, would you have anything to like to say?
I don't think so. It's too much.
Thank you, John, for all you've done. Welcome, Joe, and welcome teachers. It's awesome to hopefully we'll get to meet you. I know this guy, but hopefully we can know each other a little bit. And thanks for all of your dedication that you're going forward with us. Appreciate it.
Welcome to all of our new teachers. We will look forward to meeting you a little bit more at probably a dinner in August. We always look forward to that. We need to meet you a little bit. Welcome, Joe, to Forest Grove. I will say you have some big shoes to fill, but it's okay. And again, thank you, John.
John, congratulations on your retirement. My time on the board, you've been here by far most of that time. You've always been that steady rock, the mayor of Forest Grove. And always appreciate what you bring to the district, and to the board, and to everything that you do in the district. Welcome to the Hudsonville family, to our new teachers. Great to have you on board. Help us continue our grow toward excellence. Great to have you here. Joe, congratulations.
Thanks. Congrats. Excited to have you all. Look forward to having dinner with you on August 12th, I think. And I think it's really special that hopefully you were touched like we were here about Mr. Gillette. He is a legend here in Hudsonville, and he is what makes Hudsonville, Hudsonville. And we hope to carry that tradition on for many years. And the school and its families. I hope when I retire from whatever I retire from someday, it's as cool as that. Thank you for everything, John, really appreciate it.
One day, each of you will be retired.
And I won't be here.
I'm gonna ask, go to closed session now. Do we have a motion, to go into closed session?
Someone.
Okay, Andrew, second. Nick? Roll call vote for that, Joy?
Yes.
Yes.
Barb?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, we'll be going into closed session.